All right.
Cock-a-doodle-doo. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, man, yeah, it was like everyone who watches the show, they know that our coffee cup is the first thing.
Yeah, we generally let this run for a little while and then
Yeah,
get into
yeah,
it.
I can almost smell it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's the cheap stuff. Don't worry. It's the
these are these are Folgers crystals.
yeah. I seen I was watching you guys know I watch a lot of Law and Order, and they had this lady in there. She's oh are they Armenian, I think? And the mother, she's reading coffee grounds. Apparently, that's a thing. People read like they read your leftover coffee grounds, and they can tell like your future. And I'm like, oh, so I got to call one of my friends who's Armenian and say, hey, what's up with this coffee ground reading? How come you never read my grounds? I want to know what's going on. But it's one of those little coffees you take one chug. You don't. It's not a coffee you sit there and enjoy and sip. You just take one chug and then they read the grounds and tell you, you know, if
Right.
you got, if you got secrets you need to tell someone, or you know, if you're gonna die soon, I guess. uh, there is an Iranian coffee shop around the corner for me. I'm thinking about going in there and saying, guys, so just a theory. Just want to find out if this is true. I need the oldest woman in here, please.
I've
Might
heard
get
of tea leaves, but never coffee grounds.
yeah, that might get me kicked out. He came in and asked for an old woman. Whoop his ass.
You got
Um,
to get that Cuban coffee. That's what it is.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Cuban coffee is great. Also, Indian coffee. It's
I have to try
similar to how
that.
the Cubans do it because you have like a really small cup of like a really intense espresso brew.
Hmm. You see, I'm not a big coffee drinker. I mean, but when I do have it, I like a little coffee with my sugar, just a little. It's usually a nice syrupy goodness that I have in the cup, and that wake me up. Oh no, no, I like my caffeine, just normally not in coffee. I'll drink a pop or an energy drink every morning, but it's starting to get to me here in my late 30s. It's taking
Yeah,
me
I
out.
don't do. I don't do coffee.
No.
I'm not good at picking up bad habits.
I do it every now and then, but only from the uh, ice cold coffee from McDonald's, like the caramel iced coffee. So
Hmm.
All right.
See,
Well,
I,
for,
I,
for
I'm hardcore. I only drink it black, and I make fun of people who use cream. And oddly though, during the summer, I drink less of it. Like in the summer, I don't want hot foods or hot drinks very much.
right.
But in the winter, it'll be like at least two or three probably a day.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, you're right. If it starts getting cool to you, you will. I've seen you like we go to cons and it's cool outside. You will knock that back a couple of coffees. Then we have to pull over because Eric's like, oh, wait a minute, it's got to come out now. You- Coffee, you don't buy coffee, you just rent it. Uh, yeah, guys,
I like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's better than my other line, which used to get me hit by my mother, which is, yeah, you can't buy love, but you can rent it very
Right.
easily. She just knocked
you,
it.
Oh,
you
no
know,
down
I,
payment. Mhm.
I got a story about that. So, like, I don't drink coffee, right? But a buddy of mine kept talking about this like vanilla latte machine in the dining facility and how yummy it was. It was super sweet and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, all right, I got to try that. So I tried it, and we immediately went out into um, this open field to do a practice for a ceremony we were doing.
Mhm.
And like in the middle of like marching in the ceremony practice, like the gurgle guts started happening. I mean, literally, like flash to bang, had it been 30 minutes, and I ran out of formation sprinting for the bathroom. I guess when you have a shot of caffeine like that, and you haven't had any kind of caffeine in months, it really kind of does a number on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coffee will do that. It'll do that to me. Can't mess with it. Uh, I had a comic shop. They used to give out free cups of coffee. And we used to go in the comic book shop, and the guy would, hey, you want some coffee? Here, go over there and get some. Let me hit the intro, and we'll come back and introduce ourselves very quickly. Here we go. I am doing it right now. Hello, everyone. There
Good
we
morning.
are. Look at our beautiful faces.
Hola.
Yeah. Absent this morning. Randy Zimmerman still getting better. Randy, hang in there. We're all pulling for you. We are here, Breakfast Buzz, Thursday morning, 9 a.m. here on the East Coast. I feel like a radio DJ when I say that. I guess I am a radio DJ because on Indie Vote Radio as well. Thank you, Indie Vote Radio. I don't have numbers right now, but we'll be for those pretty soon as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Varian Grant, founder of Indie Vote Media LLC. Started making comics in 2008, and I've complained about it ever since. I've become a physical complainer. I know everything there is to complain about in comics. Everything. If I can't find anything to complain about, I'll create a reason. So that's me.
Well, this is the time for you then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're rife with topics.
Oh yeah.
Hey everybody, my name is Eric Hodson. I am at Dreaded Dinosaur, creator of Dreaded Dinosaur Man on Webtoon and Tampus, and the Roddy Piper Kilted Avenger comic book, which you can still get at ProWrestlingTees.com. Good morning.
Scott.
Hey guys, I'm Scott Mccullen. I'm the writer of Door Kickers and Peregrine Wings the Falcon. We've got a new campaign coming up, and I'm really raring to go. I know we got a lot to talk about today.
Oh, yeah. And David Green.
So, as everyone may know, I'm just a guest here today, and I'm based out of Miami, Florida, with Limelight Entertainment Studios, and I'm currently a creator on a new series called Conquered Crowns. Previous series included The Captivating Light and The Levin Patrick, which is a blended family superhero action, almost like The Incredibles.
Cool. We'll take a look at that too. Make sure too, David, if you have any links, you drop in the private chat so I can pull them up. I think that Eric, before I know you got to get out of here because you got to get on the road. You got 3 shows your art is going to be at this weekend.
Yeah, running 3 shows this weekend, and I got to pick up some artwork from the printer, drive it all the way to Indiana so that my buddy Todd can get set up for Indiana Comic-Con, and then bounce back in time to get my wife packed up for Wasabi in Jacksonville, Florida. So,
and then you're staying here.
Yeah, I'll be here for Motor City Comic-Con.
Yeah.
What can I say? This is the results of having so many shows put off in 2020. They all decide to schedule on the last half of this year.
Do you want to drop some prints off by here? I'll just run down to Wizard World Chicago for you. Are you sure?
You never gave me back the ones that I gave you in South Dakota. So
I'm making. Yeah, I'll just use all those. I'll use those. I just, it's funny too. You mentioned that I opened that crate and I'm like, these aren't mine. And I take a tote of his, and I'm thinking, does he have mine? Like, is he gonna open this tote and be very depressed? But then I realized, she put his on top of ours because when it was time to go, Lola breaks down. She does not. She does not.
You gotta get that. You gotta get that stuff down to a science, or you ain't leaving quick.
Yeah. So they used to laugh at me, guys, because I have a very ostentatious display. It's becoming. It's gonna fold in on itself pretty soon, and it used to take me the longest to break down because I had this to put up and that. So I started streamlining it, and now I have it down to just a science. I just break down very quickly. 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
On average, how many cons do you guys do a year?
Me, I usually, my old average is 2 to 3 a month all year long.
Oh,
That was pretty much
okay.
my main income stream for the longest time. But I've been picking up a lot more comic work. Currently working on American Bliss for Genuine Comics right now. Hoping to get that wrapped up in the next month or two. We have the British Bulldog book. I got to start drawing that in November. And of course, my own comic, Dreaded Dinosaur Man. I want to get back to that. So I'm hoping next year maybe just do one con a month, so I can spend more time getting books done and getting product out.
Okay.
Busy man,
Yeah, I mean it's never ending.
but it's
We've
good
got,
to be busy.
yeah, absolutely. That's the trick about this thing is you want to have as many income streams as possible. I've got I do work for. I've got a few voice actor clients that do voice acting for dubs for anime, and I do custom work for them for shows for signings, and then I also have the wrestling art business that I work on, and so yeah, you gotta kind of keep spinning the plates.
Yeah,
Right.
no doubt, right?
Yeah, just
Scott, do you go to many cons throughout the year, or?
No, I got a regular day job, so everything I do is on sufferance. You know, I barely have the time to do the writing and the publishing
Yeah.
stuff. You know, I didn't publish Peregrine, but I published Door Kickers, and that was a half a full time job just doing that fulfillment. Oh,
Yeah. How about you, David? Do you get to many shows?
No, I've just started getting. I just got into the comic industry 2020, and I did one show in 2020, and that was in West Palm Beach. And I was going to go back this year, but just didn't have the funds to do it. And
you know, the last Comic Con I went to was the late '90s. It was San Diego in the late '90s. I went for about 3 years in a row when I was working in the business back then.
right, was it the big one?
Oh yeah.
yeah. I don't think I went to my first. Well, the first Comic Con I went to was a little small show. It was run at the time by the people who do one of the bigger shows here. It's a little extravagant. They do it in the VFW hall. That was my very first exposure to a Comic Con. And then, like 3 months later, they had their actual show, and I was kind of lost for words because I walked in like, wait a minute, this place is huge, and I'm walking around
Right.
and I'm like, oh man, and then I discovered Vice. They had adult film stars there that wouldn't take pictures with you, and I'm like, I can have like, Tiffany Taylor take a picture with her? How much? $50? No problem. Here, take my money. I came in for comics, but all of a sudden that's been,
Well, you were simping before it was cool.
oh yeah.
We are joined by the enigmatic Russ Leach.
Yeah.
who
Good
is,
day. Good day, all. Good day, all. Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, from across the pond.
Hi, Eric. Hi, Averian.
Hey, there he is. He's
Chris Fisk checking in, saying hail to Russ
Hail, Chris.
and hail to the rest of us.
Hail Chris. Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Writers Fix Problems is telling us good morning, and we've got Pops in the chat with secrets that he can't keep.
Good day, Pops.
Oh man, those are the best type of secrets. You just start spilling them. Hi, Trish. Thank you.
Trish checking in, reminding us that Lure is live on Kickstarter.
Yeah. Lola put that out last night, and she had like backers like out the gate, and I was like,
excellent.
oh man, that's impressive. I mean, she figured she'd put it on Kickstarter before she gets all the books in and sends them out, so she's cleaning up her adult comic, her debut comic.
Pops with a little bit of housekeeping here. Varian needs to hire someone to set up his streams. Where are the links in the description? Where's the description?
Well, here's the thing. Usually we do this thing like I set up Livewire. Randy sets up Breakfast Buzz. Randy's not here this week, so it's like, okay, well, I will set up Breakfast Buzz, and then life happened, and I was like, oh man, I'll get up in the morning and set the show up. That didn't happen. I was like, I woke up and I was like, oh, I guess I better set that show up. So I did the best I could, but it's missing a little bit of that Randy flair. Uh,
Yeah.
that's
Still
yeah,
works out.
yeah. That's yeah. Well, trust me, it's a description. We're trying not to break anything this morning.
Critical Blast checking in with ahoy.
Hey, I got a
Hi
critical.
there. I was on with Critical Blast last night.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he Critical Blast sent me something, and I got some
It wasn't a
books.
picture, was it?
No. I like the fact that a lot of artists are sending their stuff, or creators are sending their comics in bags with their logos on it.
Mm.
And I think that's really cool. I've got custom bags, but they're shopping bags when people buy stuff from the cons. But I don't have any custom mailer bags. But so that's cool. And
I accidentally mentioned looking for custom bags, and so I keep seeing ads in Facebook now for custom bag printing.
So what?
Morning, Josh. He's waking up.
Yeah. There were no Comic Cons in the 90s. Those things didn't exist. I imagine, cons are starting to come back. We're starting to see signs of life in our industry, which is good, but it is, worrisome. They give it, they take away. Last Wizard World this weekend. It's gonna be sad. It's a changing of the times. I wanted to be there, but it's impossible. So
Who was that bought by?
The Canadians.
Sorry?
The Canadians.
Oh, right. Oh,
Expo.
Kiss that goodbye then.
Yeah, the Canadians run. They're running it now. So, for me in America, they listen. I joke about this for a while. I still got a little bit of Wizard World stock, and I used to joke with Eric and tell him I'm terrified that I'm going to wake up one morning and discover I own the company.
Oh man,
Mr. Grant, can you talk to you about Wizard? No comment. I don't want to talk about it, but I did sell some of my stock when it went up. Got that money real quick.
Got that much, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't much, but you got to remember it's set at. Eric has known I had that stock for so long. It's set at about 10 cents for like 3 years.
Wow.
And it jumped up to $2, and I was like, sell.
Yeah.
Too bad you probably paid $5 for it.
Oh yeah, I think I forget how much I paid for it. I think it was like $7 at some point. I can't remember, but
you don't want to remember how much you paid for that.
Yeah.
I don't want to remember how much I paid for that Dogecoin.
I don't want to remember the date I sold all my Dogecoin.
Oh yeah.
I'd be a millionaire right now if I hadn't sold it.
Sold it.
Mine's locked in.
What do you guys think about buying stock in comics? We talked about that before, but there was a company that was doing that. So you couldn't own you couldn't own Hulk 181, but you could own a piece of a Hulk 181.
What's the point in having any part of Hulk 181 that I can't pick up and read myself?
I mean, that's no different than what they're doing with fine art, where they're doing these shares of big fine art. I mean, not like comics, but actual, famous painters, like a Monet or something like that, owning a share of that.
Right.
Not interested. It's like slabbing. I'm not interested in any of that. Comics should be picked up and read. They're supposed to be a live medium. They're supposed to be alive. They're interactive. I don't want to. I don't get me wrong. If people want to do that thing, fine. Off you go. Fine. But my comics are all up, available for me to flick through at any point in time. I've got old ones that are falling apart. That's what I like. So I wouldn't want to get involved in that kind of thing.
There's another comment from Trisha's variant. Got a coupon, use it. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, you guys, when you are shipping those books out, make sure that you are using Gemini mailers, because give me 1 second. I will
You're great. This crowd advertises to itself.
Yeah, they do. I love it. There you go. Yeah, if you're looking for Gemini mailers, use Volt10 VOLT10. Say it's up 10% on your Gemini mailers. Good folks at Gemini mailers sent that over to us, and I want to thank Meredith Logger and Anita Lanning for the graphic they made here for us. But yeah, there it is. Vote 10 Gemini mailers. If you're not sending your books to Gemini mailers, you just don't care.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I bought like 100 of them last year of the boxes, and they're all stacked up over there of the mailers.
Nah. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I've got a couple boxes laying around here.
I had the distinct unpleasure of having 400 of them delivered to my house. Well, that was my wife was having kittens that day.
I need to do a small rant here because Scott brought it up. But
Okay.
So here's the Masterworks.io platform where you can buy a share of some famous fine art. Russ, could you please do me a favor and please call this out for the utter shit it is?
Yeah, that's shit. What is that all about? Good, look at that, $20,000. Good lord.
Did Hunter Biden do that one?
I've got a cat that can do that.
That's an original Hunter Biden right there.
Look at this.
Original Hunter, but
The one I got my cursor over right now, Hunter's actually better than this.
Yeah.
even when he's on crack.
I hate to say, I was really disappointed when I saw Hunter's painting because it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible.
I mean, this is just a tax shelter for rich a-holes to launder their money because there is no intrinsic value in any of this imagery. It's just
No.
So wait, the sale price on that one over there is $29.3 million.
Yeah.
The purchase price is $112.
That's to buy a share of this piece of shit.
So how do you get your stuff up there? Because there's always going to be some mug that will actually pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the literal million dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah. Why can't I just put one of my covers up there, see what happens?
Yeah, I'm convinced I don't even have to do it. Is throw some paint together and
Yeah. I mean, that's literally all these people are doing. There was a guy, I saw a story, I don't have a link for it, I apologize, but an artist was paid to commission a piece on a large canvas. He left it blank and called it art. And there's actually a debate going on about whether or not this is still art.
Oh, dear.
These people who get to be called artists, they're just masturbating in a different way. This is all this shit.
It is art. It's called con art.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
con artistry. Yeah, no, however, listen, if you smoke them, got them. If you got them, smoke them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can convince somebody, you only have to sell that $30 million painting once.
Yeah. And with the NFT craze, that's another thing that's kind of ticked me off, is because I want to get into this and actually create something of some value, but it's a sea of shitty JPEGs out there.
Yeah.
The thing I hate about NFTs is it's all built on the Ethereum, and I think that's a con waiting to collapse in of itself. So
yeah, if I actually do it, I'm going to do it on the Cardano chain because I like the background of Cardano.
No, you're confusing me now. I'm too old. This sounds like Star Trek. It sounds like we're going to talk about nacelles in a minute.
Hey, Russ, just remember this. This is the rule of thumb when it comes to crypto, okay?
Yeah.
If it's not Bitcoin, it's a scam.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm on it.
It keeps it simple, stupid.
Hey, as soon as Shiba Inu goes to a penny, I'm a millionaire again. So
again, that's the operative term.
We've been joined by John. John, hello.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Snuck in here. We've seen you though.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Should have known I was screwed at that exact moment. 21,000 in debt with student loans. I was pissed off when I got my master's degree in Chicago. The first show I went to, the guy pooped and peed in mason jars and sold them for thousands. And she says, "Should I have known I was screwed at that moment?" Yeah. Can you imagine that? However, some people do that.
That's good though, because he must have been a good shot.
Pop says, I am creating real NFTs from real artists right now on Cardano. It is much cheaper. Yeah,
I don't know.
nobody wants
Yeah, Chris Fisk nails it. If you have to explain your art, I have no use for it. And I wish I had a bell. I wish I had Randy's bell because ding,
Yeah,
ding,
ding.
ding.
Yeah.
You know,
Art needs to communicate an idea. Even if it's a shit idea, it needs to communicate something. And if it's all this interpretive bullshit, as Russ is so easy, eloquently says when he says the word shit because of his accent. It's shit.
Shit.
I'm not one to dunk on somebody, but since we're talking NFTs, did you guys hear about Mike S. Miller's monkey problem?
He's got a problem with his monkeys.
So his first X number that he was selling, instead of being priced at one Ethereum, they were 0.0001. So instead of going on sale for $3,000 a piece, or no, it would have been $300 and something a piece. They went on sale for 35 cents a piece.
Wow.
That's still too much for a JPEG. I'm sorry.
we talked about shitty ideas, and I just thought about it again. I talked about it briefly on Geekgasm last night, but shitty ideas, and I thought name sprung to mind. Stephen S. Tonight, who's the writer, director on Pacific Rim 2. He's decided he doesn't want to work for Marvel anymore because C.B. Cebulski, this cherub, this innocent cherub of a man, okay, Cookie Box Cebulski, is being harassed. They're harassing him again because he used that Asian pen name. Now,
does this man know how pen names work?
Well, they're saying that here's the thing. They said that he appropriated an Asian name so he could write manga, and I'm like, okay, because I code switch when I had to work. We call it code switching. I did not go to work, and I'm pretty Eric tells me I don't have a black card, but I got even wider when approaching potential employers. Everything, any type of thing that they might not like, I was out of there. It was hello, my name is Ryan Grant. How are you? It would even get softer depending on where I was at. But it wasn't like he was turning the scripts in kanji.
No, they would have known it was him. I mean, there was a story about the fact that he shouldn't have been writing and editing at the same time, and that was in some way breaking the rules. Do you think that he got an actor, an Asian actor, to go in and sign the contracts for him? Or that maybe he dressed up in yellow face or something? What a load of crap. They knew exactly what was going on. This guy that says he loves working for Marvel, he's probably been told he's had his last script, and on his way out, he dropped a bomb. That's just the way people are. They're just bitter and twisted. What can I say?
The real ethical problem is not the choice of pen name, right? I mean, hell, my email is Kyoshu, right? Because I took Japanese in college, and I've had it since freaking mid-90s, right?
I'm impressed.
I know,
sorry, I only know how to count to 10. That's it. Just so that I can tell people to march up and down the dojo.
Right. But the thing what he was really doing is he was writing under a pen name so he could sneak in under the editors don't write scripts thing here.
That's right.
So basically he was taking work from, he was told straight point blank, editors aren't going to be writing. So he wrote and was an editor at the same time. I mean, that's ethically very fuzzy. And,
it is. Yeah.
And if I was a manager at that company at the time, he would have been terminated, once that came out.
Definitely.
What he did was wrong, but then again, how could you not look at that face and not feel
He's such a sweetie. Look at him. Jumpy cheeks.
That's a mama's boy right there.
I see diabetes waiting to happen.
His hand on his shoulder.
He needs a Diet Coke and a churro from 7-Eleven.
If you want to see the real villain, this man right here.
Yeah.
Who probably right now in this picture they can look at Spider-Man plot and at the Dan slot and you know
Yeah, that man already has diabetes, probably.
Dan and I ain't friends. Dan and I aren't friends. He tried to seek a Twitter mob with me for no reason. For no reason at all. I was like I'm in the market buying something. Dan Slott mentioned you in a tweet. Oh, really? What did he say? Phone dies. Oh man, I better rush home to see what Dan Slott said. I go home. Hey, you follow someone who calls me human. He tweet. He doesn't direct message me. Man, this isn't a personal direct message. This is on his Twitter. I'm tagged in it. Me and another guy. Hey, you follow someone who refers to me as human garbage. You might want to check who you follow before associating with me. But all his followers and the thing's got like 89 at this point and growing likes. And I'm like, really, Dan? You don't say who it is I'm following. You're vague booking on Twitter. That's impressive.
Good.
And you're a punk. And
I think Dan Slott was the first big comics kind of big wig that I discovered that I was blocked by.
Did you what did you say? Did he block you or
no, I have no idea what I said. I mean, from what I understand, it could have either been a blockchain or just a mild criticism on the tweet that he was tagged on.
I've never said a word about the guy and I'm blocked. So
right. That's it. That's probably, like I said, it's probably a chain block type deal where he just blocks everybody. He probably goes to EVS's thing every month and says, anybody following him, block.
Any of these people, they got a problem. I'll give them my address privately. They can come see me. I don't mind.
Nobody's coming to get their ass whooped, Russ. They know you're a martial artist. I'm not. No.
Nobody wants to say any of this stuff to you. That's what's sickening about the internet.
Travis says, if it makes you feel better, Varian, I like Dan Slott as a writer, not so much as a person, and he blocks me as well. See?
Even his fans.
I don't think we should flatter ourselves too much because people like Dan block people with bots because they're too cowardice to have any one-on-one interaction. So we're not special.
I'm certainly not.
I hate to strip it down to brass tacks, but it goes back to the whole point of why we've seen such a change in comics, over the last couple of years, is because these pros don't have any respect for the audience and the customers. I mean, even crap books that they've been making since 2012, people were willing to buy. But the more you insult your audience, the more you insult people who are willing to put money on the barrelhead, and have pull lists at comic shops. If you insult them, people are going to say, maybe it's not worth it anymore. Maybe I've got something else I can spend my day. I'm going to buy more Pops, instead of Funko Pops, instead of comic books, because my girlfriend likes those.
How many local comic shop owners are struggling and they're making ends meet because they have a wall of Pops now?
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest victim. I mean, we don't like it because they change our favorite superhero gay or change it into a female or something like that. But think of the retailers. They have to make their business selling the crap that is coming out of DC and Marvel, and it's unexcusable.
I still buy comics every week, and it's like a dirty little secret, but I still buy comics every week, which is why I complain about them every week. But I think that the stores that I've seen, like I've had one store close. There's another one that they do. They subsidize, like their comic area is still like it's kind of shrinking, but like they subsidize with tabletop games, Magic, Magic Gathering, D&D. They don't carry many Pops, but they do have some action figures. And they're making the money on, miniatures, tabletop miniatures. That's where their money's at. And he told me, he said, I have to keep pivoting to what is selling because, the books are up and down. He doesn't even I think he told me he probably doesn't do as much. For example, I went in there and got a book that was completely sold out everywhere and going online at that point for like $40-$50. He still had it on the shelf for cover price because he didn't know. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, here it is. Obviously buying this. So
Did you take the 2 you wanted to buy and then the rest of them, and you said, I want to purchase these and I want you to sell the rest of these on eBay?
There was only one of them on the shelf, and I was like, oh, I'll take this. I haven't read this. I've been looking for it, and I bought it. And I did. I have made out like a fat rabbit on a few books. I got the She-Hulk #1 for like $30, and it's now going for like $300-$400, depending on what show I'm at. And there was a store exclusive Walking Dead black and white cover. I got for cover price because the store owner thought it was a variant, and it was a store exclusive. Like you got one per store, maybe. And
is that a proper She-Hulk or a recent one?
The She-Hulk?
Yeah.
That was old. The first She-Hulk when she gets
like
her
proper
powers.
barn.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, good stuff. What a buy that was.
Yeah, $30. The guy just wanted it off his wall, and I went in his store. He was watching. Oh, that's right. His internet was messed up, but he was watching CNN. He was getting pissed, and more and more pissed as he's watching CNN. I'm like, now's my time. Hey, how much for that book?
The
sneaky boy.
The best book I ever pulled out of a bin and I have to this day, I'm so proud of, is Avengers 57. I got it for $15, and I mean, it's not perfect condition, but man, it's a multiple $100 book now. It's pretty cool.
Good stuff.
I love that cover so much.
I actually had a
Vision.
Sorry about that. I ended up I had to step away for a second, but I'm back now. Johnny, could you put your link in the private chat? So I can bring it up. Let's see here. There we go. She-Hulk #1 is worth $300. I have that. Yeah, I was at a comic shop. Comic show, and they had it on the wall, ungraded, $300. And I need to go put mine behind glass, I think.
I wish I had a better copy of mine. I bought mine off eBay, and they photographed it in such a way that I didn't notice all the little micro wrinkles in the cover, and the light was hitting the white of the background just so that I couldn't tell. So I thought I was getting a pretty good deal. I bought it for like $30, so I'm not, I'm sure it's worth more than that in the condition it's in, but it's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Guys, one of the topics this morning that we wanted to discuss was this was brought up to me a couple of weeks ago, but I'm finally going to run it on the show now, which is if in fact, why do you stay in indie comics? Is it hard to stay? Like, you put your heart into a story, you put that story out, that book out, and maybe it doesn't get the type of audience you want. What makes you come back? What makes you create a new idea? What makes you stay in the business? For me, it's just that I do have a lot of ideas. I do have a lot of stories I want to tell. I want to entertain people with those stories. That's what makes me stay. That idea didn't resonate. Okay, maybe it's a little bit before its time. Maybe it's maybe it's a sucky idea. It's not as entertaining as I thought it is.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I've just got this burning drive to tell these stories. I'm telling them to myself. I keep seeing them in my head. I keep watching them like they're movies in my head, and it's just, I want to get this stuff out. And it is tough. It is, especially when you're in kind of this weird gray area where I haven't quite transitioned to stuff like Dreaded Dinosaur Man, which is my IP, making its own money. It's just starting to now. I had this really cool opportunity to be a part of DoorDash and do a promotion with them. And I sent them all the work I was involved in, and they loved the comic strip. And that's what they wanted to do. So now I have a Dreaded Dinosaur Man comic strip that's painted on a wall outside of a building in downtown Detroit as part of this promotion. They're going to be launching the video they shot in the interview, I think, later this week. Then I'll have a green light to just spread it everywhere, which is why I haven't put it on all my socials. But again, I mean, that was an opportunity it's growing that brand, and I got to piggyback off that and get some more, issues up on Webtoons. So then later on next year, I can actually get my print book up and running and get that launched, and hopefully keep that spinning. But until that time, you've still got to pay the bills. Now, Scott, you've got a full-time, day job gig. I'm sure something that you guys, other guys do too. It's just you have to balance that. That's what makes it tough. But that burning desire to tell that story, that's what gives you the fuel to stay up late and get the work done after you get done with your responsibilities.
Same here.
Yeah, no,
I just want to create stories that I want to get out and that I like, and I know there are others that have the same taste.
Yeah, I mean, I agree for everyone said. Eric, I thought I had. Oh, I do. Okay, there it is.
Scott, what were you going to say, Scott?
No, I was just going to say that.
There we go.
Look at that.
It's much bigger than that, actually. It's
That's one panel.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say that, for me, it's first of all, the thing that really appeals to me, the whole idea of putting these ideas out in a graphic novel is it's a movie with an unlimited budget, right? The budget is what you pay the artist, and anything that the artist can draw and you can think up and he can draw can go on the page. So you can tell that, $200 million story, movie idea you have in 48 pages in a graphic novel with no budgetary limitations other than what it costs for the artists. And to be honest with you, this opportunity to come back to comics, because after 9/11 and I got back in the Army, I put comics behind me, right? I mean, I just didn't think about it anymore. And but I never stopped thinking about ideas. So I had this mountain of daydreamed ideas. And so when the, Indiegogo thing and CG really busted out, that was just a kind of like hell, I've got these ideas, I could do something with these, and this is a ready-made market, ready to go with my IP. So, that's why I came out with Door Kickers, and it did great. It paid for itself, right? I mean, for somebody in my position who doesn't necessarily need to make money, it's more of a hobby. I take it serious, but at the same time, I mean, I just wanted to break even, and that's exactly what it did. I did better than I expected on the first campaign. Made great contacts, wrote the Peregrine campaign that did 50K on Indiegogo. So that was a huge success. And so, it like anything, you build up people who, they get that first Door Kickers book, they open it up, they love it. They talk to me on Twitter. They're like, when's the next one coming out? And people who have discovered Door Kickers since then are asking me, how can I get that first book? This is great. How can I get that?
You mentioned an important point that it's, you're doing a big budget movie in a comic book.
That's right.
It instantly made me think of this comic that I'm happy that I found. It's a nice little commentary on that. It's kind of hard to read on screen. So you have a writer and an artist at a Comic-Con, and somebody has asked a question, and the writer says, "Good question. I think the thing I prefer about writing for comics over TV or movies is that there's no budget constraints. It costs the same to have an armada of 200 ships drop out of hyperspace into an asteroid field above a gas giant as it does to have two people talk in a room." And then the artist says, "I'll kill you."
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want me to draw what?
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Keep that in mind, writers.
Yeah. It's why
Don't confuse your artists.
it's why like I was trying to do films at first, and with comics, I'm able to have any actor I want, any location I want.
Well, I mean, and from time to time, that artist will come back and say, "Hey, listen, I get what you want to do with this page. And in order to get that detail, it might take a little more than what you're paying me." And that's where you just say, "Great, let me know what it costs." And because what matters is taking the right time to get it right on the page.
Right.
There's also imagine that some artists in there all of a sudden, no, let me draw all this. They turn a meter on, like taxi meters.
My artist meter.
But that's the best thing about doing it yourself. Like when I'm the producer of the book, I'm the publisher. If he asks for more money on a thing, I just turn to myself and say, "Hey, do we want to pay this guy more money for this page? Yeah, sure, let's do it." as an indie comic publisher, you know, people really respond to that artwork. And if an artist says, listen, it's, you know, I know I quoted you this much as a page rate, but for this type of book, I think it's going to be, you know, a 25% increase on the page, then okay, if that's the artist you want, that's what you pay, you know. And one of the things that I found really interesting are artists that lowball themselves. And I've on more than one occasion I've said, "Are you sure you don't want more than that?" And you know, and I usually what I'll do is they'll, "Oh no, this is fine," and I'll pay them that, and then I'll give them a bonus at the end.
God bless you, Scott.
Yeah.
God, what a writer.
Yeah.
John, no. That's not the writer.
That's the producer in you. Yeah,
that's right. I have multiple hats.
You're in a hat group.
That's right. Exactly.
John, what keeps you making comics?
Well, this is my first comic book. Just seeing how this is gonna go, and then I'm gonna go from there. If it doesn't go well, then this is it for me.
You know, you say that, man, but once you get that first one in your hand, something happens to you. You know, you start to say, "Oh, I want to do this for the rest of my life." You know, and don't worry if you're standing next to your spouse when that happens. If she's lost, like if she's completely pale, don't worry. That's only in an indication that she's still sane. And
but you know, you bring up a good point too, Anju. Is that I'm sorry if I butchered your name.
Right.
However, we're invested in this. Okay. Well, I've had other IPs previous to Dinosaur Man, and honestly, Dinosaur Man is the first one where I'm getting enough feedback on it to keep moving forward. Other projects, I had to abandon them because they didn't meet my specific goals as far as successful, you know, how successful they were. And you just have to tell yourself, look, I've got an ugly baby here. I need to have another one if I'm going to make any money off this. And that euphemism, you know, it might sound funny to some people, but that's really how it is, because we're creating these things out of our heart, out of our gut. We might think it's the greatest thing ever, but if it doesn't resonate with an audience, you have a tough decision you make. Are you going to continue making this just for you? Do you want this to feed your family in perpetuity? Maybe you need to pivot and have another idea.
Yeah. The artist I have he costs a pretty penny, right? So if I was to keep doing this and this not be successful, it just would take a long time for the next issue.
Yeah.
When you say a pretty penny, it's where we're going to get in your business a bit here. When you say it without saying too much, are you paying a page rate? Or are you paying for the whole project?
I'm paying page rates.
Okay. So like ballpark of what you're paying per page. He's like, no, I can't. The people are standing around me. I can't disclose that.
I pay 200.
200?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is that pencils and inks and colors, or just pencils and inks?
Oh, that's the whole page, like page done. Like
okay, that's not bad.
That's pretty decent.
That's pretty good with colors as well. Yeah.
That's all right. So I'm new to this, so to me that's like a lot. So 200 for one.
The only way to really go lower than that is to go overseas.
Yeah.
Where's your artist at?
In the United States.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. I just found out that an artist that I knew, I don't want to put their business out, but it was, if you like on a previous show, they had mentioned that he was working on Detective Comics, and DC was only paying $250 a page. To him,
for pencils and inks.
Yeah, pencils and inks. Yeah, $250 a page.
Oh. No, was it?
Yeah, I hear that a
Brett
lot.
Booth was saying that he got $350 a page or $300 a page. I mean, that's Brett Booth. I mean, that's not a piker.
Yeah, I was sitting next to someone who told me that Mike Mignola is paying $100 for Hellboy covers, and I was like, "Well, what? $100? Oh,
he was proud of that, so that made it even more sad." I'm going to throw that to Genuine Comics here because he's representing the writers. He's also an employer of mine. He says, as a writer, it's more difficult to make some money making comics. Everyone who works with me earns money, I just hope to recoup my own expenses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the one thing about being a writer is that while you get paid less for the actual work, and honestly, while the writers tend to get some amount of credit, it's always usually especially if you got a good artist, the artist really is the star of the book, but the writer has way more kind of back end opportunities, and I know the writers I knew, in mainstream comics were able to crank out 3, 4, 5, 10 scripts a month in some cases. Whereas, an artist is doing one book, if probably, and then, some, I know it's unheard of, but some could do, multiple books at a time. And I don't know how they do it, but
what you
the
want
art
to do,
suffers.
what you want to do too is when you pay your artists, make sure you send them a bottle of alcohol as well. At least it's the way that I've been told. All of a sudden they stop counting pages, they just keep drawing. It's great. I want to take a look at Ajano's book, Aslan the Awakening. Way past his goal. I think he's even gone since he's been on the show last.
Yeah, I think he had 75 backers or 74 when he was on with us on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So there's
$4,298 and $1,700 goal. Oh, it went up again. Wow,
Crazy.
we're sitting here.
Indie Volt bump.
Yeah. So 80 backers, 17 days left to go. Let me play the trailer real quick here. It's and there it is. There's Aslan, the Awakening.
Some lovely art in there.
Yeah. I mean, Ajano, well worth that $200 a page, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So you're not being had. That's good.
I still got to give it up for that pose and that you have there. I think where the chick's down low with the hand coming forward. Yeah, that
nice.
It just really draws you right in.
I look to see Eric homage that pretty soon. Something. I think we all do that as artists. I like that pose. I'm still in it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It looks like a real good book, and I haven't backed it yet, but I will be. Ajano, when are you looking to ship this?
When am I? So I'm looking to ship it out in January.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about this on Tuesday. Ajano is he's offering worldwide shipping. And I'm like, yeah, like I keep telling everyone on IndieVote Radio, by the way, IndieVote Radio numbers are pretty high right now. 84,000 listening this morning on IndieVote Radio. Download the Google app today. Join in, listen up. But yeah, he's shipping anywhere in the world. we can make him regret that.
Mm-hmm.
Australia. I mean, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Blink twice if you're okay, Australia.
Hey, Singapore is the real killer for me.
Yeah, because
$35 for a Gemini mailer.
well, you're in Korea.
No, I mean I shipped it from the States.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah. Oh man. Whew.
Do y'all use book media when you're shipping?
Yeah.
I'm hoping I get some military discounts when I go ship it out.
Just try not to ship it media mail if it's going overseas,
Yeah.
because they will open it, and if they decide to go by the rules, they'll toss it.
Do you have somebody doing fulfillment for you here stateside, Scott?
No, I was that was last year when I did when I fulfilled Door Kickers #1. So I was in El Paso at that point. So
Okay.
Yeah, and I think this book looks good. John, I see that you got a lot of stuff here. You got a lot of imagery. The trailer is cool. I see that you got. Let me see here. I see. Oh, that's a page I seen. I didn't see this page Tuesday for some reason. And
this is a great page right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the middle image.
Yeah. That color is amazing. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
How many pages is this book going to be? Is it
24 pages.
24 pages? Okay.
So,
nice character design. Very jealous. I'm going to.
You can get there if you try, Jurian. You can get there if you try.
I try. If I try, but that requires effort. You know how I hate effort. Requires me to do stuff.
Creator of the network asks, wants to know what branch of military you guys are in.
I'm in the Army.
I'm in the Army National Guard.
And Molly's asking, do comics not qualify for media rate? And typically no, because for media mail, it's got to have something that doesn't have advertisements in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's some more nuanced rules to it, but typically I think that's like the main.
So my books qualified for media mail.
Did they?
Yeah. Yep. I don't have any ads in it. I had one house ad. It was just more of a preview type deal, and no other ads. So
the problem is you get that one worker who doesn't understand the rule. They don't care. They just open up to see it's a comic book and they throw it to the side and ship it back. That's what happened to Jody McPhee. He had no ads in his book, but the postal worker saw a comic and said, "Nope, it's out of here."
And Chris is reminding us that my local post office fought with me about media mail when I tried shipping my comic book. Comic books don't qualify. Yeah. Well, so use the term graphic novel or book.
So right, mine was also a 64-page, perfect bound book. So
we did a story on it on indievote.com. And we went into it, and I called the post office. I got a lady on the phone. I felt like a real journalist, and but they have a document on their page. I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick. Don't worry, gentlemen. I haven't just discarded your book. Here was the IndieVote story. I don't know if you guys see. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And on their media mail service list on the USPS, I put it in red here. Comic books do not meet this standard. So they've gone out of their way now, well, since 2012 anyway, to expressly say comic books don't count as media mail. So you got to do something, So they opened one of Jody McPhee's packages, and he does the bag too. He does a Gemini mailer and protective bag. So they opened that bag up, pulled the Gemini mailer out, opened it, and what he got back in the mail was this. That was his book. They shipped it back to him just like that, tape peeled up with a letter saying this doesn't qualify as a comic book. But other people I know can ship. I mean, I've gotten books from people, packages that will ship media mail. I
think it depends on, like you said, the workers at the office, because all my books I've shipped out media mail, and I think they just don't care at the post office. At least that's the one here in Miami, and they just ship it out.
Yeah, it's like you're making money. I'm trying to feature you. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Every
So
once in a while.
I think the key is putting the description graphic novel versus comic book.
Yeah.
But that being said, if you're doing a saddle stitch floppy, it's kind of hard to call that a graphic novel, because it looks like a comic book. But if you've got that perfect bound square bound book, that kind of solidifies your argument there.
You know what you do?
Mhm.
You know what you do? I'm gonna put this out there, folks. I know this sounds sketchy. If you find a Second and Charles in your area, okay? They have free book bins outside. Go there, find a free book, grab as many as you can, large ones. Stuff your book in that. Put your comic between that, then ship that. Nah.
Carve out a little comic-sized hole in the book.
But the
Set the
weight
floppy in there.
of that though would still a single book in a Gemini mailer is $2.70.
Mhm.
Two or three books are $3.30 something cents. If you put anything bigger than a comic, especially something heavier, that's when you're getting into like 2 pound territory, and you're looking at north of $5 a package. And that scales very quickly.
I got because of the distribution company I own, I got a contract with UPS, and I spoke to one of the people that I'm back and forth about my account there, and I told her, I said, hey, us comic book guys need something. Maybe take that. Is there anybody you can email and say, hey, they're getting told they can't do media mail at the post office, but they're shipping books and they want to ship them at a discounted rate. What can UPS do? And she told me, she said, oh, you know what, I'm gonna take that upstairs and see what they say. Because UPS likes making money. So does FedEx.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Post office don't want the money. That's fine. Tell you what,
I like
want the
money.
John, his campaign is steady climbing. It went up while we were sitting here. 81 backers.
Look at that.
4,418
backers.
Yeah. Are
That's
they in the
great.
chat?
That's a lot of private messages I sent.
Okay. Yeah. Let's keep sending all the private messages.
We have a very active chat this morning, and I just want to take time to thank everyone that's out there who's commenting. There's so many comments out there, we're not going to be able to go burn through all of them, but we just want to say thank you so much for checking in with us.
Mm-hmm. There's Joe, who had his book sent back. Perfect example. I know comic stores who use media mail to send the customers. Yeah. Aslan the Awakening over on Kickstarter. Go check it out. ASLAN The Awakening. It'll be up there for 17 more days. John New will thank you. It's his first book, so go show him some love. Let's welcome him into this industry.
Let's do it.
Let's check in with John New when he's 3 issues in and see if he still loves it as much as he does today.
He's gonna have that 100-yard stare and a drinking habit.
Yeah. He said, man, it's a shame what happened to John. He just different.
It's gonna be the old airplane drinking problem, right into his chest.
Yeah.
But his writing is so much better.
Yeah, his writing is.
All right, guys. Hey, I'm very sorry, but I'm going to have to go because I've got a big, busy day I got to get to. Actually stayed longer than I should have probably, but this has been a great conversation, great guests, great chat. For those of you out there who want to, please go to Webtoon, tap us, check out Dreaded Dinosaur Man, leave some comments, give me a big guilt complex for not posting recently, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.
All right. Hey, watch your mouth.
All right. See you.
Unintentional. That was unintentional.
See you, Eric.
Later.
Bye, everyone.
All right.
And so let's look at another book. So we got now I'm full control. Watch the show just dwindle from here. So let's look at David's book real quick. Well, does anybody have to go like in the next couple of minutes?
What, to the bathroom? What?
We're gonna look at Conquered Crows. Let me check this out. This is David's book. Let me see here. There it is. Now, there's Amazon's Conquered Crowns, Amazon's, and they look like they're getting ready to kick ass. it kind of looks like like when you really piss off your girlfriend and she gets her girlfriends together and you go to and you walk in the house and they all look at you. That's what I'm imagining. It's like, oh shit.
I'm gonna have to use that for marketing.
Yeah.
I'm about to get like some marketing artwork done like that. Yeah.
What do they know? That's my question. Like, what did I do? What did she find out about? $500. Oh, you're at your goal. Look at that. $500 goal. You're at your goal. 20 backers. 21 days to go. Let me play this intro. Play this video. Not too hot about the lightning bolt, David. Not too hot about the lightning bolt. Just kidding.
I really like that logo.
There's your video. So you got African queens in the jungle fight. I mean, obviously you're gonna get comparisons to the Dora Milaje,
Yeah.
but I mean,
There's some super impressive artwork in there.
Yeah,
Really nice stuff.
I seen hyena heads flying, which is cool because hyenas remind me of werewolves, and everyone knows I hate werewolves.
Nobody likes hyenas.
Yeah. I had to draw one once. It was the worst experience ever. Let's see here. Let's take a look. So you got there's the whole picture of all the characters. So tell us a bit about Amazon's Assembled. Yeah, the art looks really cool to me. Go down here. I seen another piece of this right here was you had that in the panel. I see I like that water effect back there. That's awesome. Yeah. Did you so tell us about the story a bit?
Okay, so the story is actually like a mix between taking a Game of Thrones type of story and mixing it with Black Panther. Like you said, I will draw that that connection between the Dora Milaje as well. But I wanted to make things different, and so I took I forgot what I was watching, and I ended up taking like different African queens throughout history, and I put them all on one team. That was challenging in itself because they're all leaders and they all have qualities that cross over between each other. So what I tried to do with the characters, I tried to look more into their personality in order to distinguish all of them. And so basically the story follows a neighboring kingdom has put their village under tribute, and their chief didn't want to comply, so therefore he was exiled. And in that exile, the neighboring kingdom decides to move in, and they're changing things, and these 7 women decide to band together to go retrieve their chief and to fight back against this neighboring kingdom. And just like Game of Thrones, you have all of these different stories going on, and this is no different. This is just the reason why it's listed like Amazons underneath is because this particular series is about the Amazons, and particularly this group of Amazons, because there are multiple groups of Amazons around the fictional land of Unwanaba.
There's some black and white art, which I mean, I'm gonna tell you, even the black and white art looks good.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, that's getting colored now.
And you might want to look into maybe even doing a black and white version. Like, I'd be interested in that too.
Yeah. I might look into that. Yeah.
It's just as a separate version. Hey, you want the line art? Go ahead. Here it is. Akira.
And as you see on each one of the descriptions, I listed the queens which they are inspired by, and you can even find part of the inspiration in their background story.
Mm-hmm. I guess she's treated more like a man, and you can tell that's just seen some things.
Are those character cards as rewards?
Mm-hmm.
No, these were just somebody else asked me that. These are just the description pages. They're going to go in the comic, but maybe I should think about that.
Yeah,
trading cards are hot, man.
Mm-hmm.
People like those. I'm not into them, but man, a lot of people like them.
Yeah, I'm not into them either. That's why I didn't think about it either.
Yeah,
I had a lot of people order my trading cards, so you might do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you, I know a guy who is really good with trading cards, like really affordable. Let me know if you decide to do that. I can put you in touch with him.
Okay.
It was really, really affordable. My wife did trading cards to go with her book, and the amount of cards she got for what she paid was ridiculous. I'm kind of jealous. Conquered Crowns. I keep saying crows. Conquered Crowns. On Kickstarter. You are you're at your goal. You got 21 days left. Everyone needs to go over there and make this happen for David. This book looks. How many pages are we thinking?
24. This is chapter 1. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So listen, I'm going to say this, and this is going to come across. I know our listeners are going to make that damn variant. Listen, all you out there who said you like Black Panther, here's an opportunity for to read about actual African queens. Now he's done a fictional version of them, but still it's going to be interesting. And at this point now, he's been on the show. He has a lightning bolt for his logo, which wins them brownie points with me. We got the lightning bolt logo. He's got one too. We'll allow David to keep using it. It's fine. Let me look at the chat. He said, hold on, letter pages. Let me check this out. Yeah, Joe, you gave Lola such a phobia that on her Kickstarter, she's now using letter pages. Like, well, I have to have letter pages. Thanks, Joe. Molly Miller says, wow, that artwork. Marv is in the house. Anthony Gonzalez Clark says, in creative fields, only ones that lead to success. Enjoy what they are doing. Endure the loneliness. Embrace the isolation. Do the stuff. If you get in for the wrong reasons, it don't last long. Those who enjoy creating stand the test of time. Yeah. I mean,
that's facts right there.
Yeah.
And so this is chapter 1. Any plans for chapter 2 when that'll be released?
It's all money dependent. This will be shipping probably late January. I do want to get it out before December, like Christmas, but with all the things that are going on today in the world, I don't think it'll make it by December.
Mm-hmm.
So I pushed it back to January. And
where are you printing it?
I'm either deciding between Mix'em or what's the other one in
API?
Comics Wellspring.
Okay, yeah. Comic Wellspring is there in my backyard. They do good work. I mean, but Mix'em is also a sponsor of the show, so I have to be very careful when I'm.
Mix'em's great. I mean, I use them for both of my other books, and but I know that printing. There's been delays on printing for other people's books here recently.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Even DC pushed back issues because of printing delays, or at least use those as the excuse for why the books were
Yeah, this paper shortage is starting to really start. I'm glad the Kickstarter went on there and they put on their page there's a global supply chain shortage. So it may take some of these books, especially the printed materials, a little bit longer to get to you.
Oh man, I know some people that are doing Print Ninja at the beginning of COVID, and they got their books just in time before all that shut down.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. We had
Because they're all printed in China.
Yeah, we had a sponsor that ended up having to send me some stuff late because because of COVID. So there's cover A. There are a lot of different tiers over here. Go over there and pick up the one that sounds best for you guys. You've got was it the 18 days for this one, or was that the other one? This one is 21 days. 21 days left to go. 522. He went up. Was it 500? It's a 522 pledge. Yeah.
He got a new backer. He was at 20. Now he's at 21.
Yeah. He went to 522 now. So he's over his goal. And that's what we're talking about. So we'll see. I'm gonna back this one too because this I want to. I do like it, especially because it has like warrior princesses in it. Man, come
on.
Look, that one in the middle's got a skull cod piece. How can you beat that?
Yeah.
The one to our right or left's got one too.
And I mean, he's got the one chick there. You can tell she got the braids on the sides. She's got the had her head swept. And she kicks ass. She looks like the girl I dated once. It's kind of giving me some, but taking back, she was mean. She was very mean. CC, if you're out there, you owe me therapy.
I don't think any of these girls have noticed.
My wife says you owe me therapy, you bitch. Anyway, thanks for bringing Conquered Crowns on Conquered Crowns Amazons on the show today, Dave. We're going to check back in with you as the campaign reaches close to its end.
Okay.
And then from Scott, who there's this link. Okay. I thought I had your link pulled up. Apparently I don't, but now I do. So Scott, you've been doing comics for quite a minute. I mean, you've got Door Kickers. Right now, you've got your setup page ready for Door Kickers.
Yeah. So we're still in the pre-launch status on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So the cool thing is if you wanted to get on board and support David and the other book, you had to put down money. But for me, you sign up to a mailing list. It's free. It's free. So.
Yeah.
Best thing about it is get on that mailing list, and you get access to discounted perks. We're going to have 2 different perks, I think, 2 different secret perks, maybe 3. I don't know. I'm still working that. But and if you order any of those secret tiers, secret perks, then you'll get a free bookmark, sticker, and a print of the cover B. And if you guys want to see some art, I can share a little bit here with you.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was looking up. I was kind of looking up.
Let me see. Oh, that's my page. Okay. Yeah, Door Kickers. I was at someone's house and they had it, and I picked it up and went through it I was gonna try to borrow it, but I forgot to ask them.
So you just took it?
Yeah, I should have just put it in my pocket. You don't need this book.
I was going to borrow it instead. I just stole it.
Your image went down, Scott.
Oh yeah, there we go. Sorry.
There it is.
Yeah. So this is the cover A. The artist is Doug Franchen. Interestingly enough, he's a guy. So I did Door Kickers as a 10-page kind of short in an anthology book back in 2014, and I got paired up with Doug Franchen. I didn't know him from Adam, and he worked out great. And so he and I recently got to work together again on Peregrine, Wings of the Falcon, and when my artist earlier this year for Door Kickers 2 dropped out, I reached out to Doug and said, "Hey, are you busy?" And he's like, no, what do you got? And so that's how we came back together. So he was the first artist for Door Kickers, and now he's doing book 2. And so, I mean, as you can see from his art, he's a worker.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, doesn't
he? Yeah, he's a pro, and so he's going to be doing the interiors. Actually, you know what? Let me share with you the other cover here.
You know, I'll tell you the funny thing about Door Kickers, and you might not know this, Scott. I remember having to redo a page in my book because of Door Kickers, because the first book that you put out, there's the guys running through, and I'm like, I got some soldiers in my book, and I'm like, my soldiers don't look like that. I went back and redid that whole page because I needed my soldiers to look better, because it's I'm petty and small. So
I tell you what, man, one of the things about this book is that I've worked around other government agencies and special operations and in Afghanistan and Syria, and when I made this book, it was like, if these kind of guys were going up against supernatural forces, how would they do it? They wouldn't do a lot of this kind of hokey D&D kind of crap. You see some, they would take these magical and mystical capabilities, but they would meld it with modern weapons and modern gear. So that's what you get with this. It's a real kind of gritty, realistic take on special operations going up against supernatural threats. The Door Kickers work for a secret agency within the U.S. government called ESD, the Enhanced Security Directorate. They're the guys that kind of go in and, go in undercover if need be and take care of business. So in this book, it follows up after book 1. In book 1, they took down a demon-like thing in the Ukraine, and they were working, with the Ukrainian government undercover. They had to hide their whole operation from the Ukrainians because nobody can know what is actually happening. So this next book finds them doing a similar type of operation in Brazil. And so, actually, you know what? Trying to decide how. Let's do it. I'm going to share with you. This will be the first place I've shared the black and white.
I have a quick question for you.
What did you say, Jana?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So in that book, are the soldiers enhanced? Do they have powers, or is it just regular people?
Yeah, some of them do, right? So the main character, Bill, right? He is a former Delta operator, and he's what you would call normal, right? He doesn't have any powers, and so Bill is kind of the cipher and the team leader for this, and he's the one that you kind of see the story through. Now, many of the other characters all have some sort of. You've got Jigna; she's the intel gal. She can speak any language. You've got the sniper, Sugar. He's a devout Catholic, and each one of his bullets is specially blessed and artifaced by through religious crafting. Depending on the type of thing they're going up against, the different type of bullets. Think of them each as a unique magical weapon, right? That gets shot. Stillen, he's the kind of the bruiser of the team. He's got a magic sword, and there's some things about him that's not yet revealed to the audience that you'll find out later, and you'll see why he's special. I mean, the fact that he was destroyed in the first book, but he's back in the second book, you should be scratching your head how did that happen? How does that work, right? So he's a unique dude. And then, in addition to the core team, you've also got specialists. So in this book, they're joined by a new character named Rivas. He's a Brazil specialist, and he has a set of magic knives, and he kind of knows some, incantations and things like that can make he's a devil in hand-to-hand combat. And so they've each got kind of their thing, and it's all about capabilities and operator specialties. So there's some superpoweredness to it, but there's also sometimes you just need a guy with a gun that understands what the threat is, and these threats aren't terrorists; they're demons or zombies or whatever kind of mystical cultists they run into. It could be anything, literally. And so a lot of their training goes into the mental fortitude it takes to be able to actually withstand these horrors, right? The kind of the horror is very much that kind of cosmic Lovecraftian horror that it's a little overdone, I think, honestly, in comics today, but still, it's the best. Lovecraft was spot on with the idea of cosmic horror and the kind of the great elder beings that honestly don't give a shit about us. So that's a really kind of interesting thing. So this is exactly. There's some parallels there. Who knows?
Yeah.
This is page 10. So I'm going to launch here probably in the next, probably at the beginning of November. And we're going to have 6 pages of colored art available for everybody to see, including the covers. And then here's page 11 and page 12. And the most recent page we got is page 13. And this is the kind of reveal in the book of the first kind of bad guys that they have to go up against. So this is page 13. Imagine how much action you're going to see between now and in the conclusion. So yeah, it's a hell of a ride.
Genuine.
It looks really interesting.
Yeah.
Genuine Comics wants to know why is the sniper called Sugar? And yeah.
Because when you hit that, I was gonna say that's a hell of a.
Yeah.
No, because when you hit that shot, it's so sweet.
I didn't know, like, okay, and I don't know who else has like Southern relatives, but like
Sugar.
in my family, diabetes is always called sugar. So that's why, yeah. So like, you guys don't talk about, like,
he's got an artificial leg.
Yeah, you got to go over there and see Tim. She got sugar. I remember as a kid thinking to myself, like, he has sugar. Like, well, we got sugar too. Why I gotta go over his house? We and that was the thing. Like, and they all know it. And so here I am now, as a kid. I don't know what, like, people talking about diabetes. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, what is that? There's something that sounds a lot like sugar. I didn't realize that sugar wasn't a term. It was just, same with I put it in my comic just because it's such a funny word. I don't know if it comes from just my mother's side of the family or if it's just a Southern thing, but bottom sides up'ems. Which
So
was upside down.
in a lot of these special operations teams, they'll have code names for themselves, and they're just kind of, it's not like G.I. Joe code names. It's more like nicknames. That way they can call themselves something other than their real names, and it becomes just a familiar thing. This is not something like you would say on the radio or something like that. And so you get them for all kinds of weird reasons, and I honestly I don't explain in the book why they have their nicknames or what they are.
Isn't it?
Well, it's just one of those kind of things. I mean, like, for instance, Bill, right? Bill is not his real name. Bill is a nickname. He is his real name is not Bill, and so there's a reason why he's called Bill. You think it was short for William, right? Well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that he's an elite special operator and he can't pay his bills, or something like that. So they each have these simple names. And these are the little kind of details I try to bring into the book, the idea is I want something cool that anybody can read and kind of get through. And one of the things that I did learn is the first book was a little kind of jargony. So I'm turning that down just a little bit for the next book. But at the same time, I want a guy who's been there and done that to be able to read it and be like, okay, no, this guy knows what he's talking about. Okay, yeah, I see what he's doing there. And even though I hand wave some stuff, they'll understand kind of what the shorthand's for. So there is that kind of connection to reality.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And you guys let me know how you feel about this, Ajanu. And I was in ROTC for 4 years. My school was this weird experiment they did between public schools and the military. So the military co-owned my school, and we had all these military instructors, and it was a great experience. I'm thankful now to have had that. But so it was like 4 years in the military. But the thing is, and by the way, my nickname the entire time was Short Round, which hurt me on various different levels. But there's I noticed that you have characters, and are you concerned with the design of the characters? Because okay, so there's 2 movies, Monster Hunter, which had Mila Jovovich as a soldier, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of believe Mila Jovovich because I've seen her kick ass in other movies. I can kind of believe she would be a soldier, and that she would be a top level soldier. Okay, I could see that she could be an ass kicker. But then I seen a movie called Rogue with Megan Fox, and she's supposed to be a top level, captain. And I couldn't suspend my disbelief. I tried. I'm like, that's Megan Fox as a captain shooting lions in Africa. How does this work? And so, are you worried about the design, or do you talk to them and say, "Hey, you got to make the these guys look a little tougher"?
Yeah. So so for me, the equipment is actually the first thing that I think about on the designs for these guys, right? Because the gear, really says something about the era, and the artist has to understand what So I get that it's not going to be photorealistic. I get that. So it's up to me to do a good job of explaining, hey, like, this is the important thing to show. You got to show this. Like, so for instance, let me go back and share something that you already see. Let me share the cover.
See, Nita knows what I'm talking about. You got that sugar. Yep, 100%. That's right. Can't get sugar.
Hey, so if you look at this cover, right? So these guns, right? Each gun is similar but different, right? Each of them has a different sight. And I had to show the artist, hey, this is the sight for Sugar's gun. And this is this. So like, okay, Bill is the center character. And if you look at his gun, let me blow it up actually. It'll be a little easier to see. All right. If you see his sight is kind of square shaped, right? And you guys play Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you probably know your guns, right? So this gun is the equivalent to the M18, I think it is, in Call of Duty, and this is like a EOTech sight that's on it, and that's like a hollow sight, and you got the laser here on top. Now, if you look over here, this is Sugar, right? And Sugar has this is a aim point T1 sight. See, I know all this crap because I've just been around it for so long. On top of that, I'm a gun guy, Yeah. And his lasers on the side. So these are little kind of details, like, their helmets are pretty much the same, but this is a little detail that kind of separates them. Also, Bill's got his glasses on, because he's kind of a stickler for safety. But, Sugar's the kind of guy that as soon as he got away from the officers and people that made him wear safety gear, he took it off because he just, he's a YOLO kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
And then, this over here is, this is Revis, and Revis has a Band-Aid over his nose because, reasons. And he's got like a 8X scope, short dot on here, probably like a Vortex or something like that. He's got his laser right here. So, it's just important to kind of show, actually, I'm sorry, this is Revis and this is Sugar. I remember the Band-Aids on Sugar now. But the point is that, each of their gear is different. And, here's Revis down here with his knives. So each guy is a little different, but they're similar, right? Revis has got the Brazilian flag on here, and Bill has COT. Now, COT stands for that's the kind of the Portuguese acronym for the Federal Police, like SWAT team, like the equivalent to the FBI's HRT. So I know you guys don't know anything I'm talking about, but the point is like this is the kind of level of detail that I look at when I'm kind of making sure that this artist knows what's going on. And this is the kind of detail that most people will never notice. But
because I went and bought a gun book when I was drawing them. I was like, I need to know what these things look like. Phaser says, "Is it my Uzi didn't have that?" Yeah, see, he's a gun guy, so he's adding all these attachments and stuff.
I think if as a writer you're putting that much effort into the characters, it's not always possible to recognize as a reader and see all those things. But what you're doing is you're bringing an authenticity to every character, and to make each character three-dimensional, as it were, make them breathing, living things. And even if you don't spot the details, it all follows through into the writing and the presentation of the story, and the reader appreciates it.
Right. I think that's exactly right. That's been the feedback, like even some of the guys who said that, hey, I found the jargon challenging, but what that meant is I just had to go back and read it the second time. Like I had it's like, remember you guys probably read G.I. Joe at one point or another, right? And G.I. Joe would say, we're going to talk about our SOP, and they would have an asterisk next to SOP, and then at the bottom would say asterisk, standard operating procedure, right? So he would explain on the page. So I try to do that on every page. Every time there's an acronym, I explain what it means. And then, and then in the back, I had kind of an expanded thing that talked about, so in the first book I featured what was called an X-check, which is an execution checklist. And I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Black Hawk Down, but Black Hawk Down, like they go through and like there's this the famous scene where when they get the call to take the helicopters up and go into Mogadishu, they say Irene. Well, that's the code word, and just saying the code word over the radio, when you hear this code word, all these things happen, right? So it's kind of just like a trigger that they use in command and control. So I built I built an entire execution checklist for the mission that they did, like if I were planning the mission. Yeah. And so these code names go into the dialogue, and then in the back, I've got like a fake version of the like what the actual operators would have had their execution checklist, and it's got fake folds and a coffee stain on it. And so it's like you've got the thing that they had that explained what each of these codes were. So the guy told me, he's like, I had to flip back and forth every time I came across one of these country codes that you were dropping in there. I had to flip to that page, but as soon as I read that, I was like, the light bulb went off, and he knew what I was trying to do.
Will you be including Door Kickers #1 in the campaign?
So the books that will be included are book 2, which is Door Kickers Bad Medicine, and that has 2 covers. And then I will also be offering the first book with the cover A, and then there will also be a 20-page penciled ash can. And one of the stretch goals is to get that inked, and then if we get a little further, we'll make it full size. So if this is your first opportunity to get a hold of Door Kickers, you potentially could get 3 books on this campaign.
Very cool. Door Kickers over on Indiegogo right now. Go check it out, folks. Sign up. You get good stuff if you sign up early. And
the best deal is to sign up, get that day one email, get a secret perk, get free stuff, and get at least a 10% discount off of the equivalent items from the regular campaign.
And he doesn't know. He hasn't noticed, but what's the link for Door Kickers? I will put the link in the chat. Give me 1 second. Let me grab that link, and I will put it in the chat for Door Kickers and all the other campaigns too. And they'll be put in the video description as well. I'll put those in after the show. So here is the link for Door Kickers. Go sign up today. Here is the link for Conquered Crowns. I will put that in the link in the chat now. And finally, one of the links for Aslan. And here we go. Oh, all right. Sorry, things are going off in my ear as well.
Question for Scott.
Yeah, it's like we do have Russ here though. Russ, you just dropped the book on Indiegogo too. Only Death Can Save Us, book 2.
Book 2.
Yeah,
book 2 of Only Death Can Save Us. Yes.
You're already over your goal too. $5,846 of your fixed goal was $1,372, which is like it's American money. So when you get it, it's gonna be like $10.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I started low. I total transparency. I wanted to play with the algorithms because I wanted to get the book out into the environment at the front end of Indiegogo where new people could see it. So that's what I did there. But I reached the same target as I required for the first book, just about. And my stretch goals are backer related. So instead of going at a fee at the money, I'm going at 200 backers. If I can get to 200 backers, which I'm hoping I can. I got 270 in the first book. At 200 backers, I start doing the stretch goals, which are chibi fridge magnets by 6 a.m. comics. So everybody seemed to love those last time. Yeah, everybody seemed to love those last time. So I'm going all in on those this time.
I feel I needed a better artist name. You got people like 6 a.m. Booty Juice. All these other artists.
That's a great name, isn't it? I wish I had a good name like that. Yeah. But if you're new to the book, you can pick up the first book. I've still got I think 50 left in the top tier there. You can pick up book 1 and book 2 at a discounted rate and catch up. But there's lots of tiers there with different bits and pieces, pin-ups and original art, sketches, all kinds of stuff.
You know, Russ, I'm glad to see that you're doing this because I actually was looking at this campaign the other day. I just came across it it was suggested for me. It's like on the 3rd page of the suggestions. So maybe your algorithm thing's working.
Yeah, I hope so. It's it does rely on you keeping up the pressure, so you need to keep on building on the backers. But yeah, it was worth a go on the second book. I just wanted to see how it would work out. But yeah, it's doing okay at the moment. I mean, I'm 2 weeks in. I've got another 2 weeks to go on the first 30 days. So it's looking okay at the moment. Certainly got more backers in the first 2 weeks than I did with the first campaign. So comparing is pretty good.
It's a good book. I'm waiting to see what happens in the second part. Russ won't tell me. He won't send me the script or anything. So.
No. Yeah, you have to read it in the book. Yeah, it's more of the same. Really, it's not more of the same. It's more bonkers than the first one. It's a little bit more wacky than the first one. There's still the same humor. There's still the same sort of Bronze Age cosmic nutty action in it. So
very Kirby-esque right there.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. That's great praise. There's my inspirations are Bronze Age artists and slightly earlier, so Kirby, Buscema, Steranko, Stalin as well. Stalin is very much inspiring on the story side. So I wanted to do something that was just fun, just basically balls to the wall fun, really.
You can see that Russ has put a tribute to me here.
It is modelled on you.
Yeah. Definitely on the arms. Yeah.
I have detailed files.
You guys should go over and check this out because this one too. You can get the first one and look at this. The Preston Acevedo backer print.
That is a lovely piece of art that Preston did for me. If you back the first book, then when you back the second book, you'll get that pin up for free. It is an add-on for those people that didn't back the first book. You can go get it. But if you back the first book, I've got your name on file, and you will get that for free, as well as the first 200 backers in total will get the ink spots
Is that a painting that he did, or is it colored?
A painting. It's a painting. Yeah.
He did a painting for it. He did our cover B or cover C for Peregrine. It was a painted cover. It was amazing.
Yeah, he's just such a talented artist. And when you see somebody as good as that recreate your own characters, it's a special thing.
Yeah, that was really cool. And the page with the guy with the big burning there. We got to watch you do that live. If you watch,
that's right. Yeah.
The Comic Black Belt is dojo streams. You can see a lot of this being drawn live.
Yeah. You come see me on a Monday night. It's 6:00 Eastern Standard Time or 11:00 in the UK, and obviously there's replays as well. And at the moment, I'm inking Only Death Can Save Us, but there's other stuff that goes on.
Yeah, I think that and Russ he won some awards. As a matter of fact, I'm waiting for those. I hear Trip on the plus side.
Did indeed win an Indie Vault award for best graphic novel in Inco. I was very, very humbled by that.
I'm waiting for trophies to still come in. Once the trophies come in, they'll be mailed out to everyone.
Put it up there with my other trophies.
I think Russ has 2 coming to him. So,
that's right. Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Only Death Can Save Us. Book 2, The Tech Stone, which sounds like an evil company. Tech Stone. It's really weird because I grew up in the 80s. I thought companies would have more evil sounding names. Like you hear OCP, that just sounds dirty. Like
it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
But no, who would have thought Google? Like this isn't like an evil company, but guess what?
Yeah.
Google's a number.
Yeah. Amazon. Who would have thought? I mean, well, I guess Amazon does sound evil. But I mean, that might be because of the context now that we know. I don't care. I'm not getting rid of my Amazon Prime. I need my 2-day shipping. I don't care. Here's the other thing too. I think look, I got millionaires I look up to. So yeah. Okay. And then guys, we're approaching the end of our show, so I'm gonna let you folks tell where you can be found. You can find your campaigns, and then I'll let you guys go have your Thursday, or in Scott's case. Scott, what time is it there?
It's 11:38 at night.
What time is it there?
Over here, it's currently 10 to 4.
So, yeah.
What?
In the afternoon.
Yeah, he's in the UK. Scott, you're in Korea, right? Korea.
Yeah, we're all on the same day, though. Oddly enough.
David, where are you?
Miami.
And John, you're where
In
again?
Connecticut. In Connecticut.
Yeah. And I'm in Michigan, and it's 10:48 in the morning here. So I don't smell breakfast. I don't smell lunch. There's a great growing concern in my soul and my spirit right now. So I'm gonna go cry after the stream is over. Where it can be found at? Let's start off with John.
So I can be found on Instagram at Lionheart_series. I'm also on TikTok at Lionheart_series.
Cool. Mr. Leach, how about you?
You can find me on YouTube as Comic Book Black Belt. You can also find me at russleach.com. All the links are there. Please sign up for the email list, or you can go straight over to the Indiegogo campaign. You can also find out more about Only Death Can Save Us at onlydeathcansavus.com. I'm on the Instagram, the Twitter, the Fleece Book and Minds. Just come look for me, and we can talk about comic book art.
Very cool. David.
Instagram, Facebook at Limelight Comics.
I do like the fact that again he has a lightning bolt. He's
yeah, that's a lovely logo. I like that.
Yeah. I'm like, see a lightning bolt too. I think that I found some lightning bolt earrings for my mascot and the girl who dresses up as her. And I'm like, oh, these would be awesome. But then I realized the character drawing doesn't have earrings, but that's fine. Whatever. I'll make the booth girl can wear all this ridiculous stuff. Scott, how about you?
Well, you can find me here on Twitter at mscottmccullen with no H on the end at Twitter, and then you add the H, and you can find me on Instagram. Also, I've got a YouTube channel now. It's called Writers Fix Problems. That's me in the chat. So click on the sub me, and then you can wander over to my channel next and give me a subscription. And if you like to talk about writing, we do a panel show every Saturday evening. And, so if any writers out there, just reach out and we can work you into the rotation. We're always looking for new folks, and we do guests pretty frequently. So, that's where you can find me. And of course, the sign up page on the Indiegogo, like I said, we'll be launching probably after the 1st of November. So you'll be getting those emails once you sign up with access to the secret perks.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny. I stopped calling myself a writer because I got afraid of that. I was like, man, I respect what writers do so much. I refuse to call myself a comic book writer, so I'll just say comic book creator now. Like I can draw them, that's fine, but I just feel like writers are so much better than me. I'm like, yeah, I'm a comic book creator. I don't dare to call myself a writer. That way you can't judge me on writing anyway. So there. I never said I was a writer.
I never thought I could be a writer until I met a writer who was pretty successful, and I realized he was a total idiot. And I was like, well, I could do that. If he can do it, I can do it.
That's an apocryphal story.
Of course, guys, you can find me KYD_V on Twitter. Variant Grant pretty much on every social media network. Check out my publishing company, lastcallcomics.com. Got some new stuff coming out very soon. I've been working for like a year under the scenes, behind the scenes, had nothing to do. So indievolt.com for the latest in independent comic book news, reviews, all that good stuff. And then if you are looking to get your independent book in stores, it's easy. Use Liberty Entertainment Distribution, ledg.us. Good people over there. 100% field rate to retailers. Vendors set their own rates, meaning you don't we don't tell you how much to split your book out of price your book. You set it to the price you want to set it to for wholesale buyers, and buyers or the stores can always get their money back if a book does not sell. But the Liberty Pledge, they don't want a book sitting on the shelf if you can't sell it, so you can give it back to Liberty and get your money back. It's a very awesome program. Liberty Entertainment Distribution, ledg.us. It's a great company, great people. I don't know. I own it. And also check out Indie Vote Radio on Google, or if you have an iPhone, download the TuneIn app and check out Indie Vote Radio. You can also listen to it on the indievote.com webpage. There's a player there, as well as ask your Amazon Alexa device to play Indie Vote Radio for you. Radio isn't your thing. You don't want to hear indie music and talk like this. Well, you can check out Indie Vote TV on Roku. It's free. It's over the top network. And Indie Vote TV, we stream indie movies. It's free. Some long form content. Used to be when YouTube says, hey, you can't say that on our network, I would say, fine, let's put it on my own. You have no power here. But now we got a bunch of subs, so they're like, well, you can say that. We'll let you get away with it. I mean, really, I've said some horrible things, and I still have sponsors. This is great. I keep waiting for those emails every morning. Excuse me, Mr. Grant. Did you say? No, I said it. I said it as a descriptive term. I wasn't calling anybody that. It was a descriptor. People don't understand. An MF can be a person, place, or thing. So, guys, thanks for being on. I do appreciate it. I'm going to take us off air. Hang tight for a second. And here we go, guys. Have a great weekend. Try to leave this industry a better place than you found it. And as Daphne Lage always says, buy indie comics, especially ours. And keep wishing Randy Zimmerman a quick, speedy return, that he feels better very soon. I'll take us out of here. Here we go.
As we're done, yeah.
And who's your favorite Marvel Comics hero? Mine is Superman. Remember the motto? With great power comes great responsibility.
Yay! about what you've accomplished.